Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We've got Black Sun and the Pikes. We've got command cards. We've got new unit cards and even a new upgrade card to talk about in today's video. If you guys are new here to the channel, just want to remind you again about the big giveaway. We're giving away a Shadow Collective core set in the form of a $70 Amazon gift card. And to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. I want to hear what your favorite card is out of all of these that we're talking about, or your favorite command card in general. Definitely let me know. Also, check the links in the description below. I'd love to have you join the Discord. Great community Discord that we have down there. Very family friendly. Lots of games we talk about. X-Wing, Legion, Armada, even some Games Workshop games and just Star Wars stuff in general. Also, check out Crabbok.com for the free Legion AI expansion. Also, big thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Don't forget to get some amazing tokens. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Use code CrabbokVIP. You're going to save 15%. Father's Day is not that far away, folks. Let people know this is what you'd like, or maybe if you game with your dad, this would make a perfect Father's Day present. Or even if you don't game with your dad, maybe just get yourself some tokens. Orders of $35 or more, going to get a free Crabbok lightsaber nunchuck token thrown in there as well. All right, so we're going to talk about Black Sun today and also about the Pikes, because we got an article yesterday from Atomic Mass Games, written by our own LJ Pena, so very cool. Our own, as in the community zone, of course. Pretty cool stuff. We've got the Pyke Syndicate Capo featured in this article. Now, this may not be too new to a lot of folks. Again, this is one of those cards that was mostly previewed during the last mini extravaganza. We had just about everything except for the top left corner of this card, and most of that has been spoiled already anyway. So, just a little summary. You know, the Mercs are these are some of the Mercs. These are the Pikes. They have their own symbol on the top left, different from other Mercs like our Black Sun, for example, which is going to be a little different as well. But these are the leader cards, and so the Capo is just kind of like your Rebel officer or your Imperial officer, but this is the Pike's own version of that commander. It's that single miniature commander, 45 points, not bad for one miniature with with the ability to both be a commander and also a Pyke commander specifically, because that's going to be important, because your Pikes can't use the courage value for panicking of anybody else. They have to use their own faction's commanders. That's going to be pretty relevant. Now, they do have command, and of course they have equipment, like a lot of people do. That's about what you would expect for a generic commander. Then the Pyke Syndicate Capo, like your Pyke foot soldiers, can go into all four factions. That's those four faction symbols again, right next to the symbol for Pikes at the top left. It is a commander with just one miniature, 4 health only, 2 courage. White defense die with defensive surge, but no offensive surge. We have a speed of 2. We have a black die for unarmed, and we have 3 black dice at range 3 for its ranged gun, which is pretty decent. You've got just a normal kind of decent, respectable attack. But these are more of a support type card. This isn't really your unit that's going to charge and take the offensive. Now, the first ability that we have is Aid, and it's Aid with the colon for specifically the Pikes. So it's Pyke Aid, I guess you could say, or Kool-Aid. Oh yeah! Does he burst through the door? No, that's terrible. Anyway, but the Pyke Aid, basically, if you would gain an aim, dodge, or a surge token, another friendly Pyke unit at range 1 and in line of sight may gain that token instead. And if they do, you gain a suppression token. Now, suppression is dangerous for these guys, but if you have, the second ability, like you do here with Danger Sense, of course you're going to have extra dice to keep yourself alive, and Danger Sense is really, really good. So maybe Pikes along with Jin, maybe that's going to be a thing. Who knows? Maybe Jin, Cassian, Pathfinders, and Pikes, everybody with crazy Danger Sense stuff, being able to do all kinds of interesting things. And again, while we don't have all of the rules for Shadow Collective and Mercs and exactly how much of what you're going to be able to take, we do know that these won't fulfill the minimums, right? So you won't be able to just take 3 Pyke foot soldiers. You'll have, but maybe you'll be able to take your normal rebel core, and then a couple extra foot soldiers, and then of course there's upgrades that can increase the number that you can take. We're gonna have to see. I'm not exactly sure how well they'll mesh with existing Pathfinder based armies, but maybe that's going to be a thing. So they do have Danger Sense 2. They also have Independent Dodge 1. And of course, like all of the Mercs seem to have this so far. At least the Mercs that can go into other factions seem to. Those are the ones that we've really seen. Outside of Maul. Maul doesn't have that, but he can't go into the other factions. So Independent Dodge 1 says at the start of the activation phase, if you do not have an order token, gain a dodge token. This is something that's going to become even more important. This is one of those keywords that, while we've seen independent before and said, oh, well, this is kind of cool if I don't issue them in order, that's decent. It's also going to work out even better once we see the command cards. And this is kind of cool how they all type of, I guess you could say they synergize with themselves, which is a really good thing about this. Next up is the Black Sun Vigo. Black Sun is going to be a little different, and first off, it has the Black Sun has their own faction symbol. The Black Sun Vigo is going to be 50 points as opposed to the 45 of the Pikes. All right, Black Sun is a little more deadly, a little bit, they got red defense dice, so maybe a little more survivable. Although you don't have danger sense on this guy, but you do also have more dice at closer range. So you lose a little bit of the range, but you gain a little bit more firepower. Neither one of these versions has offensive surge too. But the Black Sun does have aim, and aims tend to be more popular than dodges most of the time. So Black Sun Vigo also has command and equipment, 3 dice for melee, so definitely better at close range. 3 black dice for melee, 2 black dice and 2 white dice for that double blaster at range 1 to 2. No surge at all. Red defense die, again, 4 health, 2 courage, very similar to the Pyke version. Speed 2. It has aid for Black Sun, so Black Sun aid, and again, the same thing. You can kind of redirect your tokens. They have to be range ones. They have to be close, and then of course you have Dauntless here, which is something else that's kind of working off of suppression. So Dauntless is it's a pretty cool ability. I feel like it's potentially less strong in the Empire because you have other characters that can, that have compel, that can kind of do the same thing. While the Empire doesn't have Dauntless specifically, they have multiple characters that have compel. There's a Death Trooper officer that has compel. You have Krennic that has compel. Vader has compel for core, but that wouldn't work for a Black Sun Vigo. So maybe it would be a good pairing up with Darth Vader if you wanted him to also not be, hit by the same thing. That's an interesting one. And then you have an Independent Aim 1, which is a really nice thing here. Again, if you're not getting an order, you instead get an aim token. And now the cool thing with Independent on both of these leaders is that since they both have Independent and they both have aid, they can just say, hey, I'm not getting an order. I'm going to give you guys, give the core, a Black Sun, core or a Pyke core, an extra dodge token or aim token respectively. And since the core also have independent, they're going to get one too. So the Black Sun Vigo can potentially, pass a second aim token to a very heavily loaded Black Sun core unit that maybe has the extra trooper and the heavy and all this other stuff, and that could be really nice. So you could definitely pack a punch with Black Sun. I feel like you have to get a little closer though, right? And so maybe that's part of the risk inherent with it. It'll also be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if certain things like Emperor's Royal Guard Imperial Royal Guards, like, will they be able to guardian Black Sun units? Is there going to be some kind of errata that says that they can't do that, and things like that? These are things that I wonder about, because it seems a little bit less than thematic, but maybe Darth Vader gave them specific orders to do it, and then of course they'll do it. So that's kind of interesting. But I think doubling up on aims is certainly a little bit better than doubling up on dodges from the capo. But still, it's a nice kind of ability that works with itself. And so I think that's pretty cool. I think it's cool. It's going to be fun. We also have command cards. And these command cards are going to definitely work into that. Now, the command cards are mercenary cards. They are going to come in each of these packs. You're going to get these same 3 command cards that we're going to look at. And the first one is Ploy here. It's a 1 pip. It actually gives you no units. But this is supposedly these 3 command cards are going to come with the Black Sun pack, with the Pikes pack, also with the Shadow Collective pack, which is interesting. So you're going to basically get lots of, if you're buying one of everything, then you're going to end up with like extra sets of these cards. But these are meant to be like your generic 3 for the Mercs. So you can use the initial, like you can use standing orders and then assault, push, and ambush, and then you can use these 3 if you're like not running Maul or something like that, if you want to do Shadow Collective only, or if you want to include these leaders in, you know, your Rebel or Imperial or Separatist or, you know, builds, you know, if you wanted to run, you know, specific command cards to benefit Shadow Collective, you can run this. Now, the interesting thing about these is that they do say you must nominate a mercenary unit. So you must nominate a mercenary unit is interesting because we saw this kind of same thing with Maul. You know, since they can go in some of those other factions, they don't want you to just have more command cards that, you know, like they don't want somebody like you know, General Veers kind of borrowing Black Sun's tactics, right? So this is how they get around that. So you must nominate a mercenary unit. So you can't really, well, there's nothing that says you can't include it in your build if you're like just running pure Imperial, but you wouldn't really be able to play it. It wouldn't have any effect, as that's my understanding. So basically, you have to run these with either a capo or a Vigo. So this says you must nominate a mercenary unit. The 1-pip ploy says you can nominate an operative unit. And so this is good if you have Darth Maul as an operative in there and you wanted him to be able to play this, or who else is going to be an operative? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know how many other operatives we're going to have. Maybe there'll be more things coming down the road. But the bounty hunters, for example. There you go. But yeah, so choose one of your order tokens and place it face down on this card. You may look at this token at any time. When you would draw an order token from your order pool, you may use the order token on this card instead. So this is a really cool card specifically to interface with, you know, to work with all of your mercs, because anybody who has independent still, you know, that you can still activate them when you want to here, but at the same time, you know, they're not getting a token. So there's a couple of things that make this really cool. For one, they're still going to get all their independent bonuses, which is great. For two, this is going to also be like a pretty fun counter to certain cards like Dooku, who want to take your command card, you know, your order token, and mess with it, or like flip an order token face down or something like that, which is really cool because it's not going to be in the pool, and so it'll be here on the card. So it's like in a protected state, you know. So if there's anything that, I don't know how that would work, but it basically, I think the more important thing in here is that it still lets you do your independent, and that's really cool. And by the way, if you're choosing core on here, it could be any core, right? It's not bound to a specific unit. Whereas if you issued just one core, you know, a token, then all of a sudden, or you know, an order, then that one core is the only one that can do it. So here is if you pull one, you know, and you get to choose. So very cool. So you can just hold your commander till last, or make sure you do a core for, like, maybe you've got two options, and you know it's 1 versus 1, and you lose the tie. All right, well, I'll just put a core here, and now all of a sudden they shoot here, so then you react by doing this. So it gives you some reactionary ability too. Very cool card. We also have Aggression as our 2-pip. This is 2 units. This one does actually give out orders. It says you must nominate a mercenary unit. When issuing orders with this card, you may issue up to 2 fewer orders. For each order not issued, choose a different friendly mercenary unit at range 1 to 3, and each of those chosen units gains an aim token. So again, even more aims. So the really, really good card, especially for Black Sun, since Black Sun happens to be on here. But of course, this will work for, you know, this will work for the Pikes and whoever else as well, because everybody loves aims. All right, but so cool, because now if I'm running, for example, if I'm running the Pyke, the Black Sun Vigo, and then Black Sun Enforcers, I can say, all right, well, my Vigo, he gets an aim token since he didn't have an order, because I can choose both of these guys. I can choose not to issue any orders here. I'll basically put 2 aims on my Black Sun Enforcer, and then maybe I've got another Black Sun Enforcer. and that unit's going to get an aim, and then this guy's going to get an aim also. So I can do aims for days with all of this. So really, really strong stuff. I'm digging it. It's going to be if you can get your Black Sun Enforcers into range, they're just going to have a really good time re-rolling dice over and over and over again. And then similar to Aggression, we have Discretion, which is funny. We have our Pikes on this card. This one's going to kind of synergize a little bit more with what the Pikes are doing. It's 3 units this time for a 3-pip. It also says you must nominate a mercenary unit. So again, might as well have, well, they didn't want this to have a be faction bound, so it's not a Pyke only card, because again, Black Sun can play this too. When issuing orders with this card, you may issue up to 3 fewer orders. For each order not issued, choose a different friendly mercenary unit, range 1 to 3. Each of those gains a dodge token. Again, same thing, but with dodges, a little bit less great here. Primarily because, this, I don't know. I just dodges aren't as flashy. Again, maybe there's something we haven't seen yet that's going to make, Pikes want dodges a little bit more. I'm not sure. But again, has to go to mercenary units. This one is also a little more restrictive, because if you're just running like one, if you're just running like a single Pyke capo and a single Pyke foot soldier, you have less like tokens that you can hand out with this. I guess in that case, like if you're running just like 2 Pikes in a rebel list, for example, I guess you could issue a regular order. I don't know if there's going to be some kind of rule that says like a Pyke commander maybe can't issue an order to like a rebel trooper or something like that. I don't know if that's, we'll have to wait and see if there's any kind of legalese for that particular type of use case. So we'll have to see. Overall, I think I like Aggression the best, but Discretion can still be okay. Again, maybe if we start getting Merc Jedi, well, I mean, maybe putting a dodge token on Maul, in a Shadow Collective build, that could work, right? I don't know. And then Lead by Example. This is a new upgrade, and this is a really good one for Mercs. Really good for Mercs. But just, first off, great art here. Just incredible art. At first, I thought it was Boba Fett on the art. I was like, wait a second, is this Book of Boba Fett? Wait, there's lots of Boba Fetts. Oh, of course, it's Rex. And and I'm pretty sure it is Rex. You can see it's barely kind of visible in there, but looks like the blonde hair at the top. And is that Oppo in the back? I'm not sure, but yeah, very, very cool, very, very cool artwork. And it's a command upgrade that gives you Inspire 2. Really good card. Really good. There's so many units that need this, and it's not faction bound. This is one of those upgrades everybody can use. Inspire 2 is so good, but it's not a cheap card. It's 8 points. This makes this a particularly expensive command card, especially when command upgrades. I feel like command is one of those slots that has been getting better and better. There's been some really good upgrades come out for command lately, and now there's going to be competition for the command slot. Just for thinking about it, if you were to run like Leia with Lead by Example, she'd have Inspire 4. Which is insane. But if you run this on like a Capo or a Vigo, Inspire 2 is going to be tremendous, because now those guys, who are going to be at risk of panicking now can get rid of stuff. But there's so many opportunities for this. That's just incredible. And this can also work into things like War Weary and things like that too. Or the hostile environment. The certain mission cards that are going to benefit you if you can get rid of suppression a lot easier. Very cool stuff. But Inspire is a great keyword. You're going to pay for it though at 8 points. And you're going to and it's also opportunity cost, because there's a lot of other really cool command upgrades. Like, oh, did you want Vigilance on there to keep extra dodge tokens around? Well, now you're going to have to make a choice. So again, very interesting card. It really opens up the space a little bit when you think about what upgrades to put. I like where this is headed, and I am here for it. Can't wait for it. All right, guys, that's all the stuff that we looked at today. Make sure you head over down to the Discord. The links are in the description below. I'd love to hear more from you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible, so thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. So say we all. Be excellent to each other and party on.